Now here's a story that's sure to tug your heartstrings. Baby Lunje's birth was nothing short of a miracle. She was born prematurely at 25 weeks via cesarean and weighed just 530 grams. For more on this miracle baby, I'm joined by specialist paediatrician, that's Dr. Nobuntu Nkumanda from the Life St. Mary's Private Hospital in Mthatha. Doc, thank you so much for your time and welcome.
Thank you.
This is certainly a miracle story. When I heard the story, it just warmed my heart. And I can only imagine what went through your head when you had to, of course, operate on the mother as well as baby Lunje. But before we get into exactly the results, what was the cause of baby Lunje having to be, sort of like being born at, 530 grams?
Yeah, she was 25 weeks and the mom had gone into renal failure. The mom had hypertension, developed renal failure, and because of that, in pregnancy they develop what is called PET, that is preeclamptic toxemia. Now, the only treatment for that is delivery of the pregnancy. So at about 24 weeks, the mom really complicated, and then, the obstetrician said, we have to take the baby out in order for the mom to live. Would like the baby to live, but they know that the baby is really small.
Yeah, and have you encountered such a case with a patient before?
Yes, there are many cases like this, but I mean at 25 weeks, usually, you kind of try and wait a bit longer just to get the baby to grow a bit. But in this case, we couldn't wait. Yeah,
and the baby born had to immediately.
Come.
And how's baby Lunje doing right now?
Wow. Baby Lunje is now 2.05 kilograms. The birth was a bit traumatic because it was a cesarean section. It had to be resuscitated, but did miraculously well.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you're a big believer in miracles because when I also read about what you went through at the time, it was prayer that got you through it.
And God's grace.
And God's grace.
Absolutely God's grace. So, my obstetrician will say to me it was hard work, and we saw it. The staff at St. Mary's, from the staff that was looking after the mom in ICU, adult ICU, the staff in theatre when Lunje was born, the obstetrician, the nurses, and then in the neonatal ICU, my staff, our staff did an absolutely stellar job.
Yeah.
Absolutely stellar job. I mean, to get a baby 530 grams in the former Transkei, to be 2.05 kilograms yesterday, actually, because it was discharged yesterday, and not with much complications. Yes, the work is only going to begin now. We're going to, follow up, especially the neurodevelopmental assessments and et cetera. But she did well.
She did well, especially for a premature baby who was severely underdeveloped. Doc, we're speaking about lungs here being underdeveloped.
Yes.
I read that you also mentioned that she even had a hole through her heart.
Yes, she did.
So there's still so much more work that is to be begun right now.
Yes. The hole did close. She was fortunate. She didn't need any surgery. The lungs did mature because we managed to get her off oxygen on the 25th of May. So she had been off oxygen for almost a month before she went home. Her eyes, because they develop retinopathy of prematurity, she was screened. The right eye is perfectly fine. We're still just monitoring the left eye. The ophthalmologist is monitoring that, and that is what we do, on follow-up. We monitor all of that. Yeah. She's growing well. And we just pray to God to just continue the miracle.
Right.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah, and we also have to give credit to baby Lunje because you did say that you were talking to her and saying that mommy needs you, you need to be strong for mom. And she heard you. So babies do reciprocate to such messages.
They do. They actually do feel your vibe. So we really do try in the unit to be positive from birth. I talk to them in theatre and tell them that, we need them and they're going to be okay. Yeah. It's traumatic, but they're going to be fine. Yeah.
For any mom, in terms of just giving, a message of hope, that's probably going through a time of seeing their child in an incubator, probably still going through, underdeveloped and, procedures that will help them to develop more, and they're probably stressing. What would your message be to them?
Well, my message would be they should just, they should trust God. and trust the process. And they should be strong for their babies. Their babies are not really able to be strong for themselves. They rely on the mom. The mom needs to be strong. When the mom walks into ICU, in my ICU, when you walk in, you need to be strong for your baby, and your baby will be fine.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nobuntu Nkumanda, for your time.
Pleasure.
All right,
Okay.
then. Well, that's a proud, of course, moment there we have from the doctor as well as the team, but also just the miracle that we're witnessing as South Africans today. But